The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
A competition at center? Could it be? We'll talk about the latest with the Jets from OTAs. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Saturday. Hope everyone is having a good Memorial Day weekend so far. If you're a Knicks fan, that was awful last night. I will get into that after we talk Jets here at the start of the show. And we got some news about the Jets coming out of OTA. So Zach Rosenblatt, who covers the team for The Athletic, was at the first OTA on Wednesday, open for the media to consume and watch and view. And this was Zach Rosenblatt on his podcast, Flight Deck, discussing the state of the center position for the New York Jets.
So when we watch practice, we're not allowed to report on who goes with first team, second team, all that stuff. So I can't get into specifics, but I'd say it's pretty clear to me that there's going to be a competition at center there. John Simpson alluded to it in his press conference. He said those guys have been competing their asses off against each other. It's mildly surprising, I think, to the fan base. Especially if you just look at the facts, like you said, one guy's a second-round pick, the other guy they signed to a pretty small contract. But there are other factors at play. Like Josh Myers is more experienced than Tippmann technically. He's played with Justin Fields in college. He didn't have a great year in Green Bay last year. I think he's generally been a solid center. I do think the flip side of that is Joe Tippmann, I think, has a lot of potential, and he's very intriguing as this big athletic guy, smart kid. But at the same time, I don't think he was as great last year as maybe the perception from the fan base. I think he can be a really solid center. I don't see star potential necessarily. It would still be surprising to me if Joe Tippmann wasn't ultimately starting. And maybe this is just a way of pushing him or making Justin Fields more comfortable or whatever it is. But yeah, I think that's going to be a competition to track in training camp. And I'm curious to see how it plays out and if they split the reps or how they do it.
Let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with saying something is a competition, but this doesn't pass the smell test. Here are some numbers courtesy of Matt O'Leary. Sacks allowed last year, Joe Tippmann 5, Josh Myers 1. Pressures, Joe Tippmann 23, Josh Myers 31. Pass block efficiency, 97.9. Pass block efficiency, 96.9. That's from left to right, comparing Tippmann to Josh Myers, as you see on the screen. PFF grades, not even close. Not even close. Run blocking, pass blocking, the better player overall was Joe Tippmann. Joe Tippmann, second-round pick. Joe Tippmann going into his third year. Josh Myers signed a contract that is the equivalent, the equivalency of a backup money. He didn't sign a deal that you look at it and go, yep, he's the starter. He signed the deal that when you compare to other players around the league is to be a backup player. He signed a one-year deal for $2 million guaranteed. $1.5 million is available through playtime. I don't think there's a true competition at center here. I don't. I think Aaron Glenn is preaching competition. I have no problem with Aaron Glenn trying to make starters earn their spot. But just like Justin Fields' money makes it clear he's the starter, the lack of money for Josh Myers means that he's not going to be the starting center. And look, I get it. Myers was the center for Justin Fields in college, but that doesn't mean he's going to be the guy that's going to go out there and be a starting player for this team just based off that. I think the Myers signing is a good one. You know, he's someone that has played a lot in the league. He has a lot of depth that he could add to the position. You know, in the past, the Jets would have an injury on their O-line, and their backups would come in, and they'd be some of the worst football players we've ever watched. Myers is at least a legitimate player in this league. Like, you don't feel like, you know, you're going to get killed out there if he's got to come in and play a little bit, right? Like that's kind of the whole point. So I don't think there's a real battle for center. Remember, there wasn't truly a battle for Sauce to start as a rookie, yet the Jets didn't just hand him a job. So we've seen coaches do this before. With Tippmann, it's a little interesting because he is a guy that I thought had a decent season last year on a bad team, badly coached team. And we're talking about a guy who's going into now his third year. But Aaron Glenn has said that he doesn't care about where you're drafted and how much money you make and the best players will play, but he named Justin Fields the starter without any competition. Tyrod Taylor didn't even get a chance. So I don't truly buy this. I don't. I know people are like, what? Competition? Like, I would be very surprised if Joe Tippmann's not the center. The only way I could see Josh Myers starting, and you're not rooting for this, is if there's an injury to one of the Jets' two guards, and maybe they prefer Tippmann to move to guard, where we know he's played guard before, and Myers to be the center because he has the familiarity already with Justin Fields. Like if there's, God forbid, an injury to AVT, which unfortunately is possible when you look at his history, or there's an injury to John Simpson, could you see Myers being the center and Tippmann moving over to guard? That I could see. I don't think that's crazy, but I don't see a path for Joe Tippmann to not be this team's starting center. Eye test, PFF numbers, other analytics that break down offensive line, because that's not easy to do for us as fans, right? Line play is very difficult to evaluate unless you know what each lineman's assignment was on a given play, what the scheme is, etc. But I still think ultimately what you see on your screen right here is what you're going to get. That's going to be your offensive line. Fashanu at left tackle, Simpson at left guard, Tippmann at center, Vera Tucker at right guard, Membo at right tackle. You know, Glenn's a guy who is old school, who's going to have competition, so on and so forth. But when push comes to shove, we know Aaron Glenn is not going to play the competition card because he just named Justin Fields the starter. So the Fields money points to him being the starter. The lack of money for Myers, he signed what is the equivalent of a backup contract, tells you all you need to know. Now, as far as the overall offensive line, this better be one of the biggest strengths of the team, though, as I continue to say. Because the only path I believe the Jets have of being a team that could fight for a playoff spot is if they're able to have one of the best rushing attacks in the league. And how do you do that? You have a great O-line. We know Justin Fields is an absolute playmaker with the ball in his hands. Might not be the best passer. He's got to continue to improve and develop in that area. We understand that. But you can win games with Justin Fields with a really good O-line and Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. Run the crap out of the football. And Tippmann, I thought, did some really good things last year when we highlighted several plays with his ability at being able to run the football. Like, I think he's a good fit for the Angstran offense. So I have no issue with competition. We could say it. But I think, you know, actions are going to speak louder than words. When push comes to shove, we will see Joe Tippmann be the starting center. And I really don't think there'll be much debate there. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Our raffle this week features a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey, a signed Broadway Joe jersey, and a signed CJ Mosley jersey. So gift the membership to be entered. And when you gift the membership, you get a free super chat every month if you are a member. And you get access to all the emojis, a membership badge next to your name. And we're working on our next channel emoji. So we need the ASMANIACS to come together and help us get there after we added the Chef Kevin emoji as our most recent one. Dave Briga with the first word. He writes in, Tippmann doesn't have a prototypical center's build which apparently creates a lot of his issues, his height being the main problem. I don't think he has a lot of issues, though, would be my thing, Dave. I think he had a good year last year. I think he's a good player. Bo writes, and I love the fact that starters are being pushed to solidify their positions. That's a sign of great coaching. If it's true, Robert Saleh did that with Sauce his rookie year. Was he a great coach? So I think we read too much into this stuff. Myers does have the familiarity with Fields. So maybe they are trying to get Fields comfortable. It's like, hey, take some snaps with a guy that you trust. But I look at it the opposite way. Give Tippmann all the snaps with Fields now so they could build up a repertoire, build their reps. Rich says, little competition never hurt unless you lose. And I don't think we're going to see Tippmann lose this competition. But once again, I'll repeat what I said for those just tuning in. I like the Myers signing. Like, this guy has got a lot of qualified starts in the NFL. I mean, when was the last time the Jets had backup offensive linemen that have started that many games? So there's nothing wrong with that. Myers has started 56 games in the NFL. Tippmann's started 31. Myers is coming up a down year, though. That's a fact. Joshua says, Tippmann is 6'6". Maybe he can play some defense for the Knicks. Amen. God. Tom A says, who will Neil stalk now if Tippmann loses his job? We're also very biased for Joe Tippmann on this show. The Asmaniacs are pro Joe Tippmann. He's a friend of the show. One of our own stalked him on vacation to get him on this show. Newer viewers might not know that. Shout out to Neil. So I'm with you. Open phone lines for those of you who want in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Happy Saturday, everybody. Reminder to join the Patreon. You'll get 20% off all items in the merch store. And I have a brand new item that has been added to the jakeasman.com shop. Ladies and gentlemen, for all your needs for your furry friends, we now offer Jake Asman Show pet bowls. Shout out to PBM and his lovely dog, Maui, for using the pet bowl.
Look at that, Jake. Selfless promo.
Love it. We offer them in two sizes. I think it's 12 ounces and 18 ounces. So if you have a pet and you want to get them an Asmaniac or a Jake Asman Show pet bowl, you now can if you go to jakeasman.com.
Look at that, Jake. Selfless promo.
Love it. Hit the like button if you just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's get into the debacle at Madison Square Garden last night. Last night, the Knicks to me just got outplayed. And this was my biggest fear after they dropped game one. You blew game one, a game that you were the better team, a game that took a historic collapse of epic proportions for you to lose. You go into game two last night with no margin for error. Down 0-2, history tells you you're cooked. Now, am I going to act like the series is over and the Knicks can't win a game and get back into it? I'm not going to do that just yet. But talking about what happened last night, the odds are now almost insurmountable that the Knicks are going to be able to come back and win this series. That's what history shows you. And that's why losing game one was so devastating. Because you were the better team, you blew it, and last night, Indiana was the better team in the fourth quarter. You had this game tied going into the fourth, and they outplayed you. They won the 50-50 balls. They got the big plays from their guys down the stretch. Whether it was Siakam the entire night, or Halliburton at the end, or Nesmith, top to bottom, they won the fourth quarter. They won the fourth quarter. They were the better team. They made more plays when it mattered. They hit their open looks when the Knicks could not. They played better defensively than the Knicks did. We know Jalen Brunson and especially Cat are not good defenders. It's emphasized when Josh Hart is that bad defensively. When Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are that bad defensively. I mean, why is OG here if Siakam's going to score 39 points, right? I mean, they were just getting beat on the perimeter, possession after possession. Why are we starting the fourth quarter with Cam Payne playing? It was just brutal to watch them get outplayed last night. There's no other way around it. And it once again just highlights how incredibly devastating losing game one was. Look, if the Knicks lost last night and they were 1-1 going back to Indiana, we wouldn't feel great. We'd be frustrated. It wouldn't feel like this. I thought it'd be 1-1 going to Indiana. I thought the Knicks would win the series in 6 games, meaning I thought they'd have to lose twice. I didn't think it'd be easy. Indiana's been one of the best teams in the league since January. They've proven that. They're really good, and they're really well coached. And the second the Knicks made a move, personnel-wise, Rick Carlisle and his team tried to expose that move, and they did for a lot of that game last night. So we could sit here and we could blame individual players. We could blame the coach. Ultimately, Indiana was the better team last night. And it goes back to game one because the Knicks were so far away the better team and have nothing now to show for it. That's what just kills you. How bad defensively this team was last night. I mean, it was a train wreck. And I do think now, down 0-2, there needs to be an adjustment to the starting lineup. There needs to be an adjustment to the lineup. Whether that means inserting Deuce McBride to the starting lineup or Mitchell Robinson, it is clear, looking at the large sample size in the regular season and the playoffs, they need to make an adjustment. And this head coach, while he's done a tremendous amount of good, he's very stubborn, and I don't know if he's going to do it. I mean, the plus minuses speak for themselves. The Knicks starting lineup has logged 43 minutes through 2 games, despite having a net rating of minus 42.9. Their defensive rating is 155.1 in these 2 games. It's terrible. And while Mitchell Robinson played a lot more last night, it was too little too late. And then he started to look like a guy that was running out of gas. Towns last night. Oh, how is he not playing more? Because he's minus 20. He was awful. I was watching it. He was late on every rotation. It was just a terrible performance all the way around, which can happen in a long series. If it's 1-1, you'll live with it. But losing game one is so devastating now. This is why. Because you gave yourself no margin for error. For everyone saying, oh, the Knicks will learn from it. They'll come back. They're the better team. They'll beat Indiana. I think in a long series, yeah, the Knicks are a better team. I do believe that. Right? But guess what? You gave yourself no wiggle room. So if Indiana plays really well, if they have a guy like Siakam who has a career night and you have no answers for that, now you're in an 0-2 hole. Right? You played around in game one, you played with your food, and now guess what? It's coming back to bite you because you got outplayed last night. They were better. And you can live with it if it's 1-1. You can't live with it down 0-2 going to Indiana. And now it's a must-win tomorrow, and who knows, right? I mean, the Knicks are a couple possessions away from being up 2-0 in the series. So things change. We saw last year what happened with Minnesota and Denver, where that series started with the road team winning the first 2. And then the road team came back home. The Timberwolves, after they won 2 games in Denver, lost 2 straight to Denver in their building. And that series ended up going 7. You never know in today's NBA. And I think these 2 teams are very evenly matched, as we said coming in. But the numbers tell you the Knicks are cooked. Statistically speaking, whether you look at recent NBA history, all-time NBA history, the Knicks' history of never coming back in a series down 0-2, Indiana never blowing a series up 2-0. That's why last night hurts so much. But to me, I'm still irate over game one because it put them in the spot in the first place. 1-1 going back to Indiana, you feel okay. You're 5-1 on the road this year. You feel like you're going to get at least 1. But now all the pressure's on the Knicks. And they've been better on the road this year than at home. Being 3-5 at Madison Square Garden. I don't care how many stars are there. I don't care how loud the crowd is. They've just been bad at home. I've been in all these games. They're 3-5 at a place that's supposed to be A huge advantage for the home team. And don't blame the crowd. Crowd was ready. Crowd brought it. Blame the Knicks' lack of defensive intensity. Blame the Knicks' lack of communication. How many times have we got to hear a player after these games talk about how they need to communicate better? Talk about how they need to go out there and be on the same page. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. These excuses don't cut it. When you got two guys in your starting lineup that are that big of a liability defensively against an elite offensive team, which Indiana's proven to be, then the other three guys got to be sound and great. Hart was not good. OG was awful. Bridges was awful. It's just a terrible performance all the way around. So disappointing. That said, last year the Knicks were up 2-0 over Indiana. They lost in 7. So different this year, having to go on the road, but the Knicks have been better on the road. So I expect a big effort tomorrow. I don't know if it will be enough, though. That's why losing game 1 is so devastating. It should be 1-1 going back to Indiana. You could deal with Indiana winning a game at the Garden. I thought they would. They're a good team. You can't deal with it when you blew game 1 the way you did. Just brutal. I never want to see Campaign out there. Why are we playing Campaign 9 minutes? Just give those minutes to Precious Achiuwa. All right, he can't guard Obi Toppin. He can't give you some energy. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. And I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I mean, what else could be said? Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Appreciate all of you tuning in here on a Saturday. Big fella with a super chat. Jake, I was totally wrong about the Knicks game last night. I had no idea they would forget how to play defense and switch off. They got killed by mismatches. Campaign should never play again. Awful. Well, they switched a lot more last night after they did drop coverage in game 1, and it still didn't work. They need to make a change to their starting lineup. I think that's where it starts. But that is not necessarily going to be enough. I mean, game 1, hit your free throws, you win. Yeah, like this series should be 1-1 right now. It's why, like, down 0-2, it's like they're not being dominated in these games. They had a historic once-in-a-lifetime choke job in game 1. They got outplayed last night. Can they outplay Indiana in game 3 and just hold on and win that game as opposed to blowing it like they did on Wednesday? They do that, they're back in the series. But history tells you they're cooked. But we watch sports because it's unscripted and you never know. That's all I got for you. Nick Bigelow with a super chat. Consider different starters. 11, 25, 8, 32, 23. I'd bring Hart off the bench. I agree with this lineup here. Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, Mitchell Robinson. I would. Because I think Hart's energy could be helping the second unit. And it's very frustrating. The atomic clock. Did you see Campaign sprint down the court and fall over? Yeah, he fell. No one touched him. He fell over. Brutal. Molon says OG cost the Knicks game 1 with that missed free throw. Nobody's talking about it. When you have a collapse like what happened in game 1, everyone's to blame. Because you can go back and watch the final 3 minutes of that game like I unfortunately did, and you could point out a mistake by each player that was out there. That if it goes the Knicks' way, any of these plays, it's 1-1 right now. And while you're frustrated losing to Indiana, I think any rational Knicks fan would look at it like they're a good team. You were not going to sweep them. You've been good on the road all year. 1-1, go win a game in Indiana and take your chance in a best-of-3 scenario after that, with 2 of the games being played in your building. Now, I mean, it almost feels like you got to win the next 2, right? You got to win tomorrow no matter what, because there's a difference in being down 3-0 and winning a game, and it's 2-1, you lose, it's 3-1, you go home. We've seen 3-1 in that scenario happen a somewhat decent amount. We have not seen it when it's 3-0 and then that team wins 4 straight and wins the series. It's never happened in basketball. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Opening up the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Bo C dropping a 10 spot for the people here on a Saturday. You kidding me? Bo is in the Asmaniac raffle for 10. Once again, we're giving away a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey, a signed Joe Namath jersey, and a signed CJ Mosley jersey.
Money, 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 money.
If you hear your name called, you thank Bo for a channel membership. Rat Diddy, Lawrence Hobson, Jeffrey Shardian, Mr. Flowers, Kikuchi, Big Will, Christian Barnbridge, NYJ Dave, Brian Farrell, Hennessy Heisman, all receiving channel memberships. Thank you to Bo. Let's get to some of your calls now on our Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. And first up today is...
His home bell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. Because the show spell is on the bed. It's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, super chats. There's a big fella, sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. That's a big fella.
Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
Big fella. Maybe you should go back to laying on your bed because the Knicks, the Knicks were not down 0-2 when you were laying on your bed.
That's true. Well, you haven't shown the picture in a while either, so maybe that's why they're 0-2.
You know what? If that's what it's going to take, you're lucky I have this handy at all times. Hold on.
Yeah, see?
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're manifesting a Knicks comeback by showing the big fella and Jalen Brunson.
That's it. But, last night, man, I was totally off with my prediction, man. I thought they were going to win by 20, and they did not in any way, shape, or form come to that. I figured, if a guy scores 20 points in the first quarter, you might want to put somebody on him that can guard him, dude. I mean, Siakam ate them up last night. It was insane.
Well, why are we having OG and Bridges on this team if they're not there to be able to get stops on Siakam? It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And about the switches last night. Yeah, they were switching, but they were switching so badly. Indiana just took over, and they were exposing them on every single mismatch, and it was really bad. But the series isn't over yet. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they have a tough hill to climb. Let's just say that.
At least they've been better on the road than at home. If you
That's
want
true.
Some sort of positive, they seem to just play better away from all the hoopla, I guess, that comes with playing at the Garden. I don't know. They shouldn't be this bad.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. In campaign, there is no reason why he should be getting 9 minutes in that game yesterday.
Give Achua those minutes. He played well in the playoffs last year. He's a high energy guy. He'll give you a lot of effort defensively. Campaign's not good, and he's a liability out there defensively.
I told my son, I was like, why don't they put Achua on Siakam? At least try to anyway. He's 6'8". I mean, he can move. I don't know. I just didn't understand the whole thing last night with the defensive scheme and the fact that they were just getting open shots and the mismatches were ridiculous. I mean, who did I see? I saw Miles Turner being guarded by Jalen Brunson. I'm like, what the hell is that? It's you can't do that. You switch on, you switch off. You don't stick. I don't know.
They were just so outplayed last night. It was so disappointing. And they outplayed them so badly in game one in that fourth quarter to the last 3 minutes. That's why it's if it's 1-1 going to Indiana, you live with it. You'll take your chances if you're the Knicks. It's just losing game like that. And that was my fear with losing game one. Once again, everyone was so confident the Knicks would bounce back, and I thought they were going to win too. But then you have no margin for error. Siakam has a career night, right? What are you going to do? If that happened and it's 1-1, you say, that's probably not going to happen again this series. You live with it. You move on. Now you're down 0-2. And, you lose one more game, it's over, basically, if you're down 0-3.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And what's crazy about it is, Halliburton didn't cook them last night.
No, he was quiet until, the last, few minutes he made some plays, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do much last night. It was you when I saw Siakam like scoring like crazy, it's like put somebody on him, dude. What are you guys doing? You know, and it was I don't know, it was just a whole debacle last night. I hope they can come back, but it's gonna like I said, it's gonna be tough. So we'll see. We'll see
Big
what
fella,
happens.
lie on that bed, all right? That might be the key.
I don't know, man. My neck is starting to feel a lot better than I'm not. So you know, but have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.
Big fella, appreciate you. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. Papa Jet says Knicks are plus 400. Might as well put a buck on them. I mean, it's just crazy. They were minus 150 coming into the series, and now significant underdogs. And they should be. Like, history tells you that. I forget what the exact stat was, but the team that's down 0-2 in the conference finals, I think in the history of the conference finals, has come back and won that series 6 total times. Brutal. Marcus is up next on the show today. Hey, Marcus.
Jake, what's going on, mate? How's it going?
Where are you from, Marcus?
It's UK, my friend. UK.
No, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you calling in.
How's it going?
I'm doing all right. Been better.
I give that a miss, or
You hear me?
oh, can you hear me still?
We hear you, Marcus. Do
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
There you go.
Are you planning on coming back to London this season, or are you not sure?
I'm hopeful. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off yet, though.
Yeah, because you were there last year, right?
I was. Yeah, had a great
Yeah,
experience last year till the game started.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal, wasn't it? What did you think of the Spurs Stadium? It's nice, isn't it?
That stadium was incredible. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, I think the trouble is it's in a bit of a crap area, London. But I went to MetLife in 2019. But mate, the stadium it just feels so soulless, you know. Like, it's got loads of seats, but I don't know, it just lacks any character for a stadium.
It's just, if the goal was to build the most generic looking modern stadium, that's what
Giant
MetLife
AC
Stadium
unit,
is.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Do you reckon they'll be? I mean, how long is the lease of the Jets? They're going to be there for quite a while, or is there like plans they might move on eventually?
Yeah, there's no avenue to a new stadium right now, so they're going to
really?
be there. Yeah, they're going to be there for years to come. I don't think I'll ever see a scenario where the Jets have their own stadium in my life. I hope I'm wrong. I gave up a long time ago.
Yeah. No, I don't know because it's. I mean, you've got the capacity, but then to be fair, like when you watch like most home games, I mean, towards like the middle of the season, it's half empty anyway. Like I felt like the top deck when you watch it on TV, like there's a few people up there, but do you think we really need a stadium with that many like seats?
I mean, to me, it's more so about like the suites and stuff is why they have MetLife the way it is. Like the suites are very nice for the rich people that can afford them, but like for the common fan, like it's not a great experience. And they should have a retractable roof if they're going to have a stadium shared by two New York franchises. You could do events there year round. I never understood why they didn't have a retractable roof.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like it's 'cause I think that the tickets for London go on sale on Thursday, but it's so hard to get hold of them. Like I'll try again this year, but I mean, I remember last year. I think I got in the queue on Ticketmaster, and I logged in early, and I think like as soon as it went live, there was like 750,000 people like ahead of me in the queue. It's just so tough to actually get hold of a ticket these days.
The tickets last year, I remember, were very expensive, but they went down closer to kickoff. If I remember for that game.
Where did you do Ticketmaster? Where'd you get yours from?
I bought them off someone who had like a bunch of tickets, but I think they might have done Ticketmaster.
Yeah, that's the queue I went into. It's it's brutal. I mean, they did. If you remember, I think the first time they played here with Fitzpatrick, they played in a different stadium. So that's Wembley, and that's like our biggest stadium. So I think that's kind of similar to MetLife, like 85,000. So obviously it's a bit easier to actually, get hold of a ticket. Plus it's a lot easier to get to because like Tottenham is such, I don't know if you felt last year, but after the game, it's so difficult to actually get out of the stadium.
Yeah, that was the only down. Well, the game sucked, but after the game, like trying to get back to my hotel I was staying at to do the post game show, it took forever to get on one of the tubes and all that.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a nightmare. I mean, like you say, it's a nice stadium, but I mean, like I say, around it's not, not the best part of the city either. But
I'd gladly trade that stadium for MetLife though, because you got it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like because I think they've got 3 games this year. They've got 2 at Tottenham. Obviously, I think the Jags they're playing at Wembley because they're pretty much London's home team at this rate. But they've got some weird games this year. They're doing Brazil again.
And they're doing Germany and Ireland as well.
Yeah.
There's only going to be more international games going forward, especially when they go to an 18-game season. You might see at some point in the near future, every team every year have to play at least one international game if they go to 18, and then they'll add a second bye week as well.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're playing. I don't think it's this year, but they've got a game for Australia booked, haven't they? They're trying to figure it out, right?
I think that is the following
Next
year.
season.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I think that's one of Australia's biggest stadiums as well, the MGM. It's like a big cricket stadium. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they get the interest. I don't know. I feel like the international games are really unpopular for obviously the guys over in the States. But yeah, I don't know, that you can see they're trying to grow the game. And I mean, to be honest, I think it's definitely getting a lot bigger, internationally. I mean, obviously, was it the first game of the year was Eagles Packers in Brazil, and it had a huge crowd. So I think that they're definitely trying to make it a sort of more international game. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, eventually we might get a team in London. I don't really know. It's a bit of a predicament because I was like, if that ever did happen, I feel like that's the only time where I'd have to stop being a Jets fan to actually be like a London fan, just because I can actually watch more games live.
You got to come to Tampa. Dave Brigger wants you in Tampa for our Tampa meetup.
Florida. Yeah, Florida. Well, saying that, one of my friends went there. Just said it's so hot, and you get all the bugs. You get all the alligators and stuff. And yeah, I think I'll leave that to you guys. But yeah, I'd love to go back to MetLife for a game. That'd be cool, because that's the only bad thing of the London games, is that it's not just you get the home fans. You just get so many different jerseys and different colors and teams. So you don't really get the home home game environment. Where if you go to MetLife, it's mainly Jet fans. So you get it's a bit louder. It's just a better atmosphere.
Yeah. There are a ton of Jet fans in the UK though. I was really blown away by how many.
Literally, it's crazy. I always bump into it doesn't matter where I go, in the UK, you're going to bump into someone wearing a jersey or a Jets hat. You find them in the weirdest places. But I didn't realize, because I think that Woody's trying to buy one of the Premier League teams over here, Crystal Palace. They're one of our big football teams, and he's trying to buy those at the moment. So I think they're obviously trying to put more a sort of a brand presence in the UK. Because they've got that weird, I think they've got home marketing rights as well in the UK. I don't really know what that means.
They do.
Jets.
Yeah, they do.
What does that? Do you know what that means? What?
I think it has a lot to do with sponsors and advertising rights.
Right. Okay.
In the area, and also they're going to get more opportunities to play games in London. I think it was up to Woody. The Jets will play a game in London every year.
Yeah, because his brother was the ambassador as well, right? Wasn't he, for the UK?
So that was Woody. Woody was the ambassador.
Oh, it was Woody. Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was his brother. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, listen, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be an interesting year. I might be late to the party, but I saw obviously the Rogers was on Rogan. Did he say anything about
Didn't even talk about football.
Really?
Yeah, apparently I didn't listen to it, but someone who did and wrote a story on it said there was a 2-hour interview and not one mention of
Nothing
football.
was mentioned. Do you think this guy's is he definitely playing this year? Or?
I think he plays for the Steelers. I do. I think he was actually in Pittsburgh for something this weekend. It wouldn't surprise me if he signs this upcoming week finally.
Yeah, because I watched the first hour, but I think he mentioned, because there's I saw something online as well that I think there's friends or family that have got cancer or something. So I think he's been trying to look into that rather than focusing on where he's going to play. But yeah, I mean, you can say right away that'll be if he does sign the Steelers, that'll be an interesting first game of the year. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just thought I'd check in and see what's going on. Good content as always. And yeah, if you go to London, I might see you, mate. We'll see what happens.
We'd love to meet you, Marcus. Appreciate you calling in.
Cheers, Jake. Take care, buddy.
You got it, Marcus. And that's what I love about the Jet fans in the UK. Some of the nicest people. Marcus just seems like a great fellow. Let's see. Tom A says, imagine the big fella song changes to "At home, his ass is on the chair, feels better on his neck." Shout out to Tom Ace, man. A one-of-one human. The man has been able to be an impactful member of this community without calling in once. Papa Jet says, easy money, Jake. And then I'll gift $400 in memberships and finally win my Klecko item. If you bet on the Knicks at those odds, you win $400 and you want to gift $400 in memberships, I will make sure I get you an autographed Joe Klecko item. You don't even need to be in the raffle if you're going to invest that much. I love it. Anyone know where Nate went, by the way? I can't find his comments anywhere. Let's get to more of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man we love, a man we fear, a man we respect, and we question whether he's inside or outside every day.
What's up, Jake?
Hello, Mr. Clifton.
I think that probably the disharmony in the chat between Nate and the fake BMAC probably spilled over into real life. They tumbled out. They tumbled out into the alley to finish things mano a mano. Yeah, I didn't know if you had anything to do with it. It looks like the fake BMAC has disappeared.
Did one of the mods time fake BMAC out?
I guess. But he was really. For a minute, I thought it was the real one. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He stopped calling into the show, and now he's just, on Memorial Day weekend trolling the Knicks fans at their low point.
I don't think BMAC ever types, but the few times he does, his name on YouTube is Bernard Nixon, so I knew it was fake right away.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened to me. A decade ago, I would definitely be out on Memorial Day weekend, mixing it up with friends, whatever. Now that I have kids, it's a little bit different. But now I'm in a state where I'm watching YouTube and watching a fake BMAC rile up people in the chat. It's a different world. I mean, you got to remember, if you're a Knicks fan, these teams are – the difference between these two teams is razor thin, right? They can win any game. So just take it one game at a time. You've dug yourself a hole. Just concern yourself about game 3 and take the first one in India and see what happens. That's all you can do. Siakam has always been a problem. I knew he was going to be a problem this series. He was a problem last year. We've never really had an answer for him. I'm seeing all these people in the chat like they're saying maybe trade Cat for Giannis. That I don't think Milwaukee has any interest in Cat. They're going to probably want picks, and that's one thing we don't have.
I don't think they want to trade him in conference either.
Yeah, and that kind of, Giannis is obviously a better player, but it creates a problem in the sense that we already have some problems with size on this team, right? Like we basically have two big guys with substantial size that we play, and that's it. And we have some matchup problems as a result. So, I don't think that's going to be, a viable option for us. We're probably going to have to look at maybe bringing somebody in with the midterm exception and see if that's the way to improve the team in the offseason.
I think what they're missing is another quality player that could come in off the bench that's a guard. Like Campaign is not playable in a lot of these games. Like you look at Boston, they got Pritchard. You look at the Pacers, and they could bring in McConnell, who's going to give you 10 points in 15 minutes. Like the Knicks don't have that guy. They're so reliant on their starting 5, which is how they were built. But they're probably another year away with some improvements to the second unit. But that's not an excuse. And you're right. The margin's been so razor thin. Like. That's why it's so devastating to lose that game 1. You were the better team. It took a historic collapse for you not to be 1-1 right now, feeling like, all right, we're 5-1 on the road this year in the playoffs. Let's win 1 in Indiana and then make it a best of 3 and go from there.
If only they had Dante DiVincenzo.
He'd be perfect, man. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, man.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to what you were saying about the Tippmann and Myers battle. To me, I've always thought that Tippmann, when he played guard, kind of killed it at guard. That said, I understand why they'd want to play him at center. But the whole idea, if someone were to get hurt, to shift Tippmann out to guard is very intriguing. I think that they want to build a deep and versatile line. We know that there are some guys that are trying to make the team that don't have a lot of position flexibility, and then there are other guys like, Xavier Newman, for example, who started to show some improvement and has some of the flexibility that might have a chance of sticking. But that's why you look at someone like Max Mitchell. If he continues to show that he can play guard, maybe he sticks a little bit, even though he's kind of proven that he's not great out of tackle. But as a fourth or fifth tackle, not a bad option. That I'm heartened so far by the Glenn era. I do think that there's some accountability starting to take shape, and it seems like he's got a program that he's implementing with some success in the early going, and that gives you a little bit of hope, and that's all we could ask for at this point.
100%. Time will tell, but I don't have an issue with calling anything competition in May. I just think you got to read through the tea leaves on what's real and what's not. And I'd be shocked if Joe Tippmann's not their center. I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, I don't know if any of your callers or watchers have noticed, but I think that Blewett put a video up about a very positive review of AZ Thomas and what a steal he was in the third round. He did that a little bit earlier this morning. If they have a chance, go ahead and check it out.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out. We got to get Blewett back on the show. I think he's excellent at what he does.
Have a great weekend, Jake. I'll talk to you soon.
Kyle, appreciate you as always. Good call there from Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake West with an Asmaniac super chat. Jake, you time Nate out. If he's in the hole, put me in there too. And I want the outro. Hashtag free Nate. Nate's not in the hole. He's not in the hole. He's not bad for 24 hours, Jake West. Anytime I have an opinion, Nate says it's not actually my opinion. So I said, all right, my opinion is I'm just going to time you out. What's fair is fair. On that note, today's guest has arrived on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one video clip I could play to properly bring this man on. Because I felt like how he felt a couple of years ago when the Jets lost in devastating style to the Chargers on Monday Night Football. I was down in the dumps. And I was also down in the dumps last night. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the post-game show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
Boy Green, welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you?
So, Jake, I guess the question all the Asmaniacs are wondering out there is, despite the loss, were you able to have sweet, passionate love at the Asmaniac Manor?
Well, what I'll say is this.
Sure.
There's a reason why this show started after 1:30 today. I was down in the dumps. That's why the show started late. I was obviously very depressed.
Oh, right, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Sure.
How are you, man?
I can understand. Yeah, I'm doing great, Jake. It's great to be back on the program, baby. And rough. I mean, because as a casual guy that has no real skin in the game for either side, the games have been fascinating, entertaining, back and forth. But I imagine for Knicks fans and Jake Asman and the cool-ass Knicks Jake Asman new logo that's been on there, shout out to whoever the hell was cranking that out for you on the channel. That looks really cool.
Addison.
I bet for you
Shout
guys.
out to Addison.
Did it. Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Addison.
Use a little AI. Yeah, he did a great job. Oh, hold on, Boy Green.
There it is. I see it. Top. Wow. Look at that puppy.
Is StreamYard still giving you the issues when you change between channels?
Yes.
It's the worst. The worst.
Yeah.
Just knocks
They have
people
not
off the
worked
air.
on that. Yeah, they've not fixed that bug yet, but that looks sweet. So, hey, what I would say is this. I heard a lot of Knicks fans say that if they lost game 2, they are accepting a sweep. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it is, man. This team has been resilient all season long. When they've been pushed to their edge, they've found a way, and I fully anticipate that despite the suckage of being down 0-2 and heading back to Indiana. I don't think this is over by a long shot.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win the series. How could I pick them? Just you look at history, but
sure,
I'd be surprised if they don't win one of these games in Indiana. They got to win tomorrow. I mean, there's a difference between 3-0 and then you win a game and then make it 2-1 and you have a chance. It's so disappointing because I thought it'd be 1-1 going to Indiana. They got outplayed last night. They lost to a really good team. All right, I can live with that, but it's compounded and it feels so much worse and it feels devastating basically because of how they blew game 1. So that's just the feeling right now. Like you played well enough to win a game 1. It took a improbable historic collapse and an improbable game from a guy in Neesmith who hit an NBA record 6 threes in the fourth quarter of a playoff game to lose. Like it's unreal.
Well, to be honest, I feel like no matter what happened last night, Knicks fans are going to be beating themselves up. And it's this, that if the Knicks won last night, they'd be like, damn it, we should be up 2-0.
Right.
If they lose, right, to the point of like, geez, look at everything that happened. I have Sean Devaney. He's a longtime NBA writer, has done a lot in the New York area for a long time. And he said the thing that the Knicks have to avoid is what the Celtics couldn't. And after going down 0-2 to the Knicks, they kept chasing those losses.
Yeah.
The ghost of those losses, they kept saying, like, game 3, man, we should be up. We should be up. We should be up. And he said that was the feeling in the locker room. That was the feeling around the team. And he said that was just the feeling the entire time. He says, you have to get over it. It's over. It's the games are done. Now, he said that before this game 2 result, but that it's over. You have to move on and just go with the series. You can't win 4 games at once. It's one at a time. One at a time. That's got to be the message, like I said, for Knicks fans heading through the rest of this.
Bino with a super chat. Jacob, I'm at the weekend campsite doing some fishing and puffing a Padron Damaso. Is that a cigar?
I would assume so.
That sounds like a cigar, right?
Yeah. Definitely sounds fancy.
That sounds like a very fancy cigar.
That sounds like something Jamal Adams would smoke. Yeah. So Jake, I saw the petition was brought your way. You were tagged with me in that. I saw you give a very emphatic response.
Yeah, I'm not signing a petition to endorse Jamal Adams to come back to the Jets. Like, come on, people. These are probably the same people who wanted to run Aaron Rodgers out of town, and they now want Jamal Adams back. Okay, yeah.
I just saw it. It just made me laugh, so I appreciate that. Yeah.
JR Jet with a super chat. It's one game at a time here for the Knicks. Tip will be good at guard. It's the best 5 guys, so Tip and Myers together. So be it. See you at Yankee Stadium next month, bro. Go Knicks. Jet up. JR, glad you and your buddy got your tickets locked in for our Yankee Stadium outing. We still do have a couple tickets left for any Asmaniac or Boy Green Coffee Club member that wants to join us for Yankees A's on June 29th. You're in the raffle for 2. And perfect segue here because I wanted to get Boy Green's thoughts on what we led the show with. Zach Rosenblatt on his podcast saying that it seems obvious there's a competition at center. I don't know if I truly buy that. Your thoughts on a potential battle between Joe Tippmann and Josh Myers for the center spot, Boy Green?
Yeah, the first thing that caught my eye is Zach Rosenblatt, before he did that podcast, the day before, he wrote a piece of his OTA takeaways. And in it, he said there's going to be, his words, a legitimate competition between Josh Myers and Joe Tippmann. And I went, wow. But there wasn't a ton of detail with it. That's all he said. Then on the podcast, you just heard a lot more. And he said, whatever he said without saying it. What I mean by that is he explained at the beginning of his answer that I'm not allowed to report at OTAs who was first team, who was second team, who was third team. That's not what we're allowed to do as reporters. We'll get in trouble for that. But based on what I saw, I think it's going to be a legitimate competition. That
he basically said they're rotating reps without saying it. Like, come on.
So I hope Zach Rosenblatt doesn't get in trouble for that because, like, I guess technically he passed the Jets rules of not saying it, but he sort of said it without saying it. My pop was calling him out earlier on the Daily Show. But it sounds like they were rotating. And to be honest, I heard the last bit of you and Kyle Clifton talking about it.
Kyle Clifton.
Kyle. Appreciate you. And I would just say it would shock me. I mean, shock me if Tippmann, with what he has done, you look at the numbers, he's been a top 8 center in football since he's taken over the last year and a half by the PFF numbers. He's athletic. He's young. He's the center is not like your left guard position. You're calling the protection calls out. You're an important leader on the team. And hell, one of these guys was on the Jake Asman show, for Pete's sake, and Joe Gastard Tippmann. So that's obviously only got to help matters. So, yeah, it would be surprising if some guy and I'm not trying to denigrate Josh Myers here. He has more experience. He started 56 games. Tippmann's only started 31, but like Tippmann's been better straight up than Josh Myers. And sure, he was teammates with Justin Fields, but are we going to do the Sean McVay thing? I was his brother, sister's, cousin's, gardener's nephew once, so give me a head coaching job. Just because he's friends with Justin Fields shouldn't guarantee him anything. And I think maybe this is just Aaron Glenn compete. I think that's what this is all about. I would be shocked if Myers takes Tippmann's job.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're talking with Boy Green. His channel's live every day at 7:30 in the morning. Mr. Consistency. Paul, you got 2 memberships that were gifted on your channel, one from K-Brock and one from Sharon. So I want to make sure that you saw that on your end.
Shout out to Raw Power. Got a membership to the Boy Green Coffee Club, and Easton Trini. Both of you. Shout out to Sharon and K-Brock. Thank you very much.
First time I've had you on the show in a little bit. So how do you
second.
feel about just the general direction of this team right now? How do you feel about some of the stuff coming out about their belief in Fields? How do you feel about some of the comments that were made specifically by Aaron Glenn about Fields' leadership style? Just your thoughts on just where we're at with QB1 and clearly the unquestioned QB1. They have not done the fake competition stuff. They have tried to build up Fields. And part of me wonders, are they trying to just do that to build his confidence, or is it truly genuine that they feel like he's a franchise quarterback for them? I guess time will tell, but what's your read on everything?
Or is it both? That they are crowning him because that's their best choice of this offseason, and it would only help to just say, hey, man, you're our guy. Screw Tyrod Taylor. You're the guy. You're the man. You're number one, and you're going to be running this operation moving forward, and thus hopefully instilling that confidence because no team has really believed in him during his entire journey in the National Football League. So maybe if we do that, that we can sort of build it up. So, obviously, regardless of how we feel about it, I will tell you this. I think there was another ASMANIACS show earlier this week. When you were hearing Aaron Glenn sing the sweet praises of Justin Fields, you can't help but say, did he just take a shot at celebrity quarterback Aaron Rodgers? Almost everything he said. You want to know the number one thing I love about Justin Fields? His authenticity. There's no BS. This guy's the real deal. You know what players can recognize? Whether a player is BSing you or not. We can recognize that from day one. And, no celebrity quarterback here. It just, everything he said, how could we not take it as a secondary comment on the ex-girlfriend quarterback? So I noticed that a lot. That seemed interesting without naming names. And Rodgers continues to drop hints that it's going to be the Pittsburgh thing, which brings us to that Jets Steelers game week 1. So that's obviously going to be fascinating here. I will tell you a concern I have with the roster is wide receiver 2. I love Garrett Wilson. He's going to break the target record, for the Jets. I think he's going to shatter it. I said it this morning. I think he's going to shatter the single season reception record for the Jets, which was 109 catches back in 2015 by Brandon Marshall after that awesome year. I think Garrett Wilson, with what AG has said, we're going to feed him the ball. I believe it, because who else are you going to feed the ball? But wide receiver 2, Josh Reynolds, Al Mazard, Tyler Johnson, Malachi Corley, Arian Smith. These names just don't tickle the testes, Jake Asman. They just don't. So is there a guy out there, the Amari Cooper rumors, Keenan Allen rumors, maybe? Or is it just Garrett Wilson all the gosh darn time? We got to figure it out.
What are your thoughts on, you brought up Garrett Wilson, his comments on being a Jet for life? I think that's positive. It's truly the first time he was out there talking about being here, and there was a lot of contentions with how last year ended with his frustrations. Your thoughts on his future? Do you believe the Jets get a deal done before the year starts with him?
First part, relief, because there's been a lot of stuff from Rich Cimini and others that have said, boy, I don't know, Garrett could request a trade. Things could get froggy. And Garrett wasn't outright coming out saying, oh, that's total BS. So while he may not have felt that way, but him not coming out and saying it made a lot of us go a little bit crazy about it. Like, geez. He wants to be here, right? He wants to be here because he's played with 8 different quarterbacks during his time and things of that nature. So that sort of scared me. So for him to come out, and it didn't even, Rich Cimini's question is the one that garnered the I'm a Jet for life, or I'm hopeful I'm a Jet for life that you see on the screen here. He had, sometimes, and you know this, Jake, you've been in the game long enough, that sometimes a media reporter can parrot a question. So I say, wow, Jake, this was the greatest show of all time, huh? And you're like, yeah, this was the greatest show of all time. And we only hear your answer. We don't hear the reporter's question. So then we just think that was your own thought. Rich Cimini didn't have Jet for life anywhere in his question. So obviously that was something Garrett Wilson wanted to get off his chest if the right opportunity presented itself there. So that's what I love, that it was genuine. It was organic. It seems like he's been revitalized. So as much as people want to potentially talk trash about Justin Fields, I'll tell you one thing he's done is reinstill life in Garrett Wilson. I'm playing with my old college buddy. And while all the hopium and everything's high, let's sign Garrett Wilson right friggin' now. And the other low-key comment he made was that contract extension talks have started with the Jets. Right. That there's been some back and forth. It doesn't sound like they've been deep and crazy, but the fact that they're happening is good news because Darren Muji sort of indicated after the draft that's something we'll dig into. And that's the other message, Jake, that I love from Muji and Aaron Glenn. You go to that 3-part documentary series that came out about the offseason. AG and Muji kept hitting the same thing. It is a paramount philosophical pillar of what we want to do is drafting our players, developing them, then retaining them. And how much they champion that, and Jamin Sherwood being the first one this offseason, I do believe Garrett Wilson gets a record-breaking deal, which will likely be the largest contract in New York Jets franchise history, which is currently held by Quinnen Williams. I believe Garrett Wilson shatters that, and I believe he is a Jet for life.
Well done, once again, giving me the perfect segue, because I wanted to bring up Quinnen Williams, because I thought it's not a small thing that Quinnen was up there at the podium, called his tweet criticizing the Jets for getting rid of Rodgers, immature, expressing now confidence in Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn had a lot of work to do as far as kind of rebuilding the locker room faith in the new regime and the new coaching staff after just how big of a nightmare last year and really the last several years have been. We talk about Garrett Wilson and Brees and Sauce, these guys coming from winning programs and not winning in the NFL and how frustrating that is. Quinnen Williams was here for Gase. Quinnen Williams' best year was his rookie year at 7-9 as far as winning percentage goes. This guy was on a 2-14 football team, right? So he's been here for even worse of times in Jet history. So I totally get his frustration with everything, and I love hearing what he said this week. What do you make of that? Your thoughts on what Quinnen said?
I would say first off, how can you be mad at what Quinnen said? Where is the lie? Where is the untruth about the shittiness he's had? This poor bastard. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers gets yanked away, who on paper and everything else is the best quarterback he's had in his entire Jet career. Now that gets taken away. And again, folks, remember, we didn't know Justin Fields was coming yet. We didn't know who was behind door number 2, just that the Jets had pulled the plug on door number 1. So I don't blame Quinnen for having those comments. I understand that they, as he self-proclaimed them, they were immature and all those things, and it's not great. But I also loved how Quinnen explained it. When you go full circle, he said, I'm going to be honest. When I sent it was immature and it was dumb and all those things, but I hadn't talked to AG yet. That was just off the cuff. That was an emotional response I had with all the quarterback changes that were occurring. So I love that Quinnen took accountability. That's great to see. I think a lot of people were a little fearful when he sent that comment out. Oh, Jesus, Quinnen going to be traded next? Does he not want to be here? And then it turns into some other stuff. And thankfully, it doesn't look like that is going to be the case. It looks like Quinnen says another powerful moment he said is he wants to be around here for the turnaround. Sort of CJ Mosley-ish. When CJ Mosley came, he said, I want to be a part of that change, and that's important to me. Quinnen talked about some of those same features. So it is great. 100% participation. Apparently, that's everything that we're getting there. From that perspective here in voluntary workouts, which is awesome. I want Quinnen to be here long term, and it was great to hear that. So it was great on all fronts. Accountability, but I don't hate what he said because it was the truth, but probably poor form on Twitter 5 seconds after the Jets are reportedly moving on from Rodgers to send that out. Probably not the best look from one of your leaders on the team.
It just shows that he cares is kind of how I look at it too.
Right.
Like this guy, like he's been paid, but he wants to win. Like he's and he deserves to win, man. There's so many good dudes on this team that have been here, have done the right thing, been good players. And for one reason or another, where it's coaching, quarterback play, incompetence from ownership, they haven't got to experience any winning, and it's just brutal.
And shouldn't you be happy that he's not just wanting to cash a paycheck? He could just shut up and say, I don't give a shit if we win or lose or anything. Yeah. I got my $96 million. Hey, did the check clear, agent? Oh, it did, Nicole Lynn? Okay, great. I don't give a shit. And he has given a shit. So, yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. 3D Narcissist checks in. I see Boy Green is drinking a Mountain Dew. Does he know how bad soda is for him? So this is from 3D Narcissist. This is Gary's alter ego, Gary 3D Boxing.
Yeah, here's what I try to tell myself, and whether or not this is the truth or not, I'm like, well, I'm not doing sniffy jiffy, I'm not doing devil's dandruff, I'm not doing crack cocaine, I don't drink a lot of alcohol, so I think if Mountain Dew is my vice, then blessed be he. So it is for the God. So yes, I drink Mountain Dew. That's one of the main things that I drink. There's no question about it. But hey, you know what? There's worse things in the world, basically. Yeah.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Another reminder for those of you who maybe don't get to watch the show live during the week. Walt Clyde Frazier jersey is our top prize in the raffle. Joe Namath jersey, prize 2. Prize 3, a CJ Mosley jersey. So we got 3 items for you. We'll do the raffle this upcoming week. Get the membership to be entered for your chance to win. When you look at like this offense in general, so much of it in my mind comes down to Tanner Engstrand. He has not spoken to the media yet. I believe that will happen this upcoming week. So I'm curious what he has to say. Are you confident in this offensive coaching staff? Because it goes really just beyond Engstrand too, right? The O-line coach is a guy who was a tight end coach. He's never been a full-time O-line coach, only an assistant in previous stops. Like I feel really good about Wilkes. I feel good about Glenn. I feel good about the defensive side of the ball. I don't know what to make of this offensive staff, and it's tough to really feel great about the Jets unless we know if they're going to be properly coached on that side of the ball.
Jake, by default, it has to be better, right? How could it be worse?
Right.
So, I mean, by default, you have to go, sure. And again, we haven't heard from Tanner yet, so there's a lot of speculation about what the offense will look like, philosophy, scheme, all these kinds of questions. I'll tell you, the thing I love is his energy. You saw it on the draft call with Mason Taylor, and he's like, we've got a plan for you, buddy. They said the same thing for Arian Smith. Just hearing that a plan is in the works is progress to me as far as that's concerned. But no, that's incredibly exciting, which I love. So yeah, I am hyped up on the offense. Again, my concern is wide receiver 2. Who is that wide receiver 2? Is Mason Taylor. Maybe, I'm not thinking enough about it. Is Mason Taylor the second best? Is he a guy that's a target monster next to Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson? Do you get creative because you don't have a wide receiver 2 and sort of spread the wealth? Hey, the Buffalo Bills last year let everyone eat was their big quote they threw around on T-shirts. And we don't have a wide receiver 1. We have one in Garrett Wilson, but they didn't have that one, but they spread the wealth. Is there an offense that could just spread the wealth that Tanner Engstrand could cook up and you have Garrett and then just someone else always has an opportunity? Maybe, but I will tell you on the surface, not having a clear guy opposite of Garrett scares me, because if you go back to the beginning of last year, Garrett struggled out of the gate because there was not a guy opposite of him. Everyone went, okay, we're going to double team Garrett, stack the box and allow someone else to beat us. And more times than not, that plan sort of worked. So that's something that I'm a little concerned with. But overall with the offense, oh yeah, it's not Nathaniel Hackett. It's got to be better. Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's hope. Let us hope that Engstrand is truly an innovator, because like that to me is the key. It's like we don't love the weapons, but you know what? Guys could be schemed open. You should have a really good offensive line. You should have a running back room that should be able to ground and pound and run the football. Like if you're properly coached, they should be a functional offense. Like I don't think they're gonna be great, but they shouldn't be worse than the league. They should be improved. That's what I'm banking on if you want to be optimistic.
100%. And here's the other thing. It's up to us to believe whatever we want. When Ben Johnson spoke with EA, the Jets senior reporter for the team, at the owners meeting in Florida, Ben Johnson said, hey, man, Tanner Engstrand was a massive part of what I do. And we don't know that because when you see like assistant roles, you're not really sure how they're divvied up, who deserves more credit, who deserves more blame for things. And there have been multiple people. Dan Campbell's come out and said it. Ben Johnson's come out and said it. That Tanner Engstrand was a big part of what they do creatively and other things of that nature. We're going to have to see what the real truth is when the season gets here. But that's exciting to hear. Hey, the Lions were the most innovative team in football. If we're copying, it's a copycat league in the NFL. We're getting some of that. Awesome. Hopefully we do get some of that. But to your point, I think our bar is not the bar what it is for other NFL teams. You just said the word competent. That sounds wonderful. What does competent look like? Give me some of that in an improving defense with AG and Steve Wilkes running that operation. I think you have a good balanced diet there.
Hit the like button. We're talking with Boyd Green. He's joining us. We're talking all things Jets. Boyd Green is live every day at 7:30 on his channel. Also posts some content there throughout the week. And I saw that you're now taking the radio show and putting that on YouTube to break that down for the audience. Let them know what that's about.
Yeah, Jake, thanks for the shout out there. Yeah, so my radio show, it's called The Man-Child Show with Boyd Green. It's been on air actually for 24 years this week, and which is crazy to say out loud that it's been out for so long. But we are moving from the terrestrial radio that we've been on air locally here in Syracuse for the last 24 years, and we're moving it completely digital. So You guys will see us all over the place. If you look out on YouTube, the Man Shout Show with Boy Green Digital, we're going to be doing Jets content, fantasy football, NFL, a little bit of everything. It'll be all under one roof. That is, again, the Man Shout Show with Boy Green Digital. You guys can look that up on YouTube. We're just growing, so we only got like 15 or 20 subscribers right now on YouTube, but we're trying to grow the brand. So, yes, feel free if you guys would love some of that cool content and some of the big guests we're going to be having on. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, Jake, thank you for the promo there.
I have some breaking news for you, Boy Green.
Oh, great.
Beastbreaker writes in, just did all my work. Next, I'm going to make brownies.
I love it. I haven't had a brownie in a hot second. Brownie sounds like a good combo with a Dewey.
Also, Dave Rigger writes in, the sun has finally reappeared in my area. First time since Tuesday.
The rain's been insane, man. I mean, one of my other million jobs I do is with the Syracuse Mets, and shout out to my boy Ronnie Mauricio, who's been killing it down here at the AAA level. But yeah, it's been rain here in New York, so we've been getting pelted. So hopefully everyone's getting a little bit of sun action. We're here in late May. What's going on here with the weather? It's been a little funky.
Oscar the Grouch says, Beast, we're supposed to be dining, bro. Bill M says, so Beast is dropping deuces too. Rick Kent wants to know, what work could Beast possibly have? Ladies and gentlemen, these are all fair questions, and what I like to do around here is give people a chance to respond to questions when they are called out.
Shut up!
Beast, what is it you were doing for work, and what happened to the diet?
Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend. I've already been on fire since 5 a.m. this morning. See, I'm like a combat unit. See, when 5 a.m. hits, it's called time to get up. It's called, all right, drop your, you know what, and get your socks. All right, off your ass and on your feet. Get up. Into the dreams of society in 5 minutes. It's like that movie, Heartbreak Ridge. You get up, you move around. You get off your ass, move it. Laundry was downstairs at 5:30 a.m. I was already on the go. I had everything prepared on time, on task, and on mission. I'm like a one-man army, and I'm not going to stop. See, there's one way to say, see, I'm like a combat unit. Once I'm on go, there's no stopping me.
Now, Beast, you've yet to tell us anything you actually did, though. You just yelled and said you've been up since 5 a.m.
I already did my laundry. I already washed all my towels. I already washed all my dishes, cut my grass.
Okay, so you were an adult today.
Excuse me, I'm not going to talk about that on the air. That is a inappropriate gesture. Very
I said you were an adult. What's inappropriate about that?
So what? So what? Well, you know what? What's
I'm
that got to
complimenting
do with
you.
I don't like talking about taking a dump on the air. If you want to talk about that,
I said
do
you
it on
were
the
an
Bobby
adult.
Midnight.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
I
you
am
took
an
a
adult.
dump.
Yeah, thank you very much. But unfortunately, if they're going to talk about that kind of crap, I'm not going to have that here.
No
And,
one said anything about you taking a dump.
Our boys last night kind of choked the.
No one said anything about you taking a dump. I said that you were, I said that you were an adult. You took care of some important tasks. So what am I missing here, Boy Green?
I'm not sure. I thought that was pretty clear. And, I like the straw hat, too. That's a nice compliment to the top of the dome there for Beast. Yeah, I was very confused. I thought you were complimenting. Yeah.
To say our boys look like they missed the boat last night by 5. Are you kidding me? Shut up!
Beast, I have a new policy. If you can't directly answer the questions, we can't let you ramble incoherently about things that aren't on topic.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Sharon writes in, Knicks and 6 fan for 58 years, can't give up now. Look, Sharon, is it likely that they're going to come back? I mean, history tells you no, but it's been a weird NBA playoffs. These two teams are very evenly matched. Like, we're still talking about a Knicks team that lost 2 games by a possession. Like, they're right there, so it could flip, but they have no margin for error anymore. They probably already used it, being down 0-2. History will tell you that, but, until they're down 0-3, go in tomorrow and get back in the series and go from there. That's all you could do.
Because I think that's the nugget right there. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in NBA playoff history, but while it's unlikely, teams have come back from 2-0 before. That's been possible. That's happened. So, yeah, you can definitely talk it out. But just as I was sort of saying it for Game 2, that Game 2 is must-win for the Knicks. Obviously, we're not playing around. Game 3 is absolute must-win. Yeah.
Also, I believe the confusion with Beast, Bo seems to have figured it out here. This is why Bo is one of the greats. Adult, not a dump. Yeah, Beast, just to be clear, I'm saying adult like adult, not a dump. I think that was the confusion.
See. We need to win. We better win Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. We better win Sunday. I'm sick of Shut up!
That's why he's one of the greats, folks. That is why he's one of the greats. Super chat here. Let's see. This one's from Beto. That's a solid question. Are there lavatorial facilities in Brokeback 6-6's attic? I don't have the answer to that one.
I don't think so, no.
Bo C with a super chat here. $2 raffle entry for this. Thank you, Bo. If we could base the maturity of our captains on the growth of Quinn and Williams, then that should give us tremendous confidence in what we produce on the field this year. Maturity matters. I agree, Bo, but your ceiling for what this team can be is still limited if you don't get the competency you're going to need at quarterback and have a real plan on how this offense can function. You know, like I think the defense will be a lot better. There's talent there. They'll be well coached. I have a lot of faith in this defense bouncing back to being more of what it was pre this season than what they are going forward. But I still think it comes down to Fields and Engstrand and this offense being functional.
It would be surprising if the defense was just trash because Steve Wilkes has just been a solid defensive coordinator for a very long time. You have AG's influence, obviously, of the team. The talent is obvious all over the defensive roster. But, right, ultimately, this is a quarterback-driven league. If Justin Fields is terrible, the Jets are going to have a terrible record. If Justin Fields is mediocre, the Jets, I think, are going to be hovering and hoping for 500. If Justin Fields plays out of his mind, you have a path to the playoffs. So, yeah, I think it's just that simple.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're talking with Boy Green. If you want to call in, you certainly can. First time we've had Paul on the show in a little bit, so it's good to get him on here and talk things Jets. David writes in, a third tight end is wide receiver 2. Isn't tight end Smart more of a pass specialist than a blocker specialist? I just think banking on Stone Smart to be an impact player kind of feels like something we've done in the past as Jet fans where we take like this random player and we convince ourselves they're going to play a big role and they don't. Like, I'd love to be wrong on that. I don't know. I don't really expect much from Stone Smart. I think there's a reason why they used a pretty significant second-round pick on a tight end.
Yeah, Danger Will Robinson. And here's the other part of what you just said. The Chargers, the only reason Stone Smart was available was because the Chargers originally tendered Stone Smart, and then they rescinded the tender. They're like, nah, we're good, which made him an unrestricted free agent, which made it even possible for the Jets to scoop him up. Now, I'm not saying teams don't make mistakes. That happens all the time where players slip through the cracks. Quincy Williams, right? He got dumped by the Jaguars. Jets dust him off, and he becomes a first-team All-Pro. So it happens, but, yeah, if we're relying on anything from Stone Smart, that's a bad place to be.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. New Q says, I need a Charles update. Charles, where are you? Somebody please throw out the Charles Gorman bat signal, and let's get Gorman on here for his first call in his brand new apartment. That'd be wonderful. Adam is too cool. Says, good to hear that no one's starting spot's guaranteed. Got to earn it every day. I agree with this, but Justin Fields didn't have to earn his starting spot.
I was just about to say, Fields, they put that on a red carpet. I mean,
Oh, man. Joshua says, Nick should have kept Randall. Fans are going to fan, man. There was not a single Nick fan that wanted.
Stop
it. Like, we don't need to do revisionist history. Like, stop it. Oh, the T-Wolves knew they had to get rid of Towns. I mean, they traded for Julius Randle. Like, they both guys have had a spotty playoff history. It's great that Randall's been playing well, but guess what? They're down 0-2 in that series, man. Like, it's just fan, and I get it. We're all crazy, but like, come on, man. Like, Knicks are in the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. We don't need to have revisionist history on everything. Fans despise Julius Randle, and I wasn't one of them. I thought it was terrible how he was treated at times. You know, people were ripping down his poster at the end of the playoffs last year. Like, come on, man. It's frustrating they're down 0-2, but we don't need to do that. Oh, they should have kept Randall. Like, give me a break.
So what was your take on that trade then? Because obviously it's seismic. Both teams ended up in the Final Four of the NBA playoffs. Randall, everything moving.
I understood it. I think the problem was they needed a center because Mitchell Robinson wasn't going to be available until February. Randall couldn't be the center. And I don't think that him and Brunson were necessarily the best fit together. Like, the Cat trade made sense. It's worked. They're in the conference finals. Unfortunately, they've lost 2 crucial games by a possession. It's not like they're getting blown out. It's not like they don't belong on the same floor as Indiana. It should be 1-1 right now. It's frustrating. Cat's play defensively when he's not elite offensively. It will cost you in these games. We've seen it, but we don't need to do the revisionist history. Oh, the Knicks would be better off with Julius Randle right now. Like, come on.
I think the thing that sucks is the new world of aprons. The Knicks got fucked on Isaiah Hartenstein and couldn't offer him the same amount of money others could. That's messed up. If you bring somebody up and you're going through that, I think the love should be spread evenly.
Yeah, the problem is teams shouldn't be penalized for being good at their jobs.
Right.
The Knicks
exactly.
found a steal in Hartenstein, developed him into a really, really good player that OKC wanted to throw, crazy money at, and the Knicks would have matched it if they were allowed to, but they couldn't. So I just think, I allowing the CBA to destroy like smart front office work is silly to me. I hate that aspect of it.
Yeah.
We lost you, Paul. Your mic cut out.
Oh, sorry. Do you get me?
There you go.
Yeah. Like I said, the thing that I hate is exactly that. So we'll see what the Knicks do. I hope they don't overreact to whatever this playoffs is, but also you can't be complacent either. So it's sort of a fine line. I've heard a lot of people trash Tibbs, so you got to sort of figure out what's going to be the best play moving forward.
Hey now, Peg and Artie just sent in a $100 super chat saying ban Bobby Beasley. I'll tell you what, this is what we call a send someone to the hole in advance payment. If Bobby Beasley calls in, Peg and Artie are now sending Bobby Beasley to the hole. Are you familiar with the Bobby Beasley saga at all, Boy Green? Does this make any sense to you?
I've only heard some of it from what's transpired over on the channel. I've heard a few nuggets shared on Boy Green Daily about it.
Essentially, Bobby Beasley is at war with Beastbreaker. Beasley claims that everything Beast has shared on the show is actually his identity, that it is Beasley who has this illustrious wrestling announcing background and has done all these great things and has sumo wrestled with the real people of Japan and all this stuff. So take that information with what you want, but Peg and Artie want to see Bobby Beasley banned to the hole. Now, if you want to nullify this hole, there's only one way to do it. The bounty is set now at $100 to save Bobby Beasley, because if there's one thing I am, Boy Green, I am a capplefish. No doubt about it.
I respect it.
Rick Kent says, nice t-shirt, Jake. I wore the same one yesterday. Thank you. This is homage, however you want to pronounce it. Awesome t-shirt brand. Definitely check them out if you guys want the same shirt. J-Boy gifted 5 spots of memberships on the Boy Green channel. How about it?
Let's go, baby. That goes to EJ, Adam is too cool, Tyrone Garcia, Mark, and Matt Armetta. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Hey now.
Edward Zip says, hey, Boy Green, where do you go poo-poo at the tailgate?
That's a great question. I know me and Jake are both doing tailgate games. We're doing the Week 5 Jets-Cowboys game. I believe there are porta potties around, although I've never had to take a shit at a tailgate, so I can't confirm by personal story. So, yeah, I would assume there are porta potties. But I appreciate you using a super chat, Easy, so we can try to figure that out.
Eli says, I just got filled in with the beef, and it's effing hilarious. Yes, if you are unaware of the Bobby Beasley saga, hopefully now you know. I played the full kind of recap clip from Beasley's first appearance on the show the other day. And and I also have received 15 emails from Beast all about Bobby Beasley. Hold on, let me pull this up here.
Yeah, sure. Please. Yeah.
So Beasley is apparently going to be calling in on Monday. He's got his lawyer calling in with him.
Oh, wow.
And we were going to litigate the case
Sure.
live on the air,
Mhm.
but Beast is not happy about that. Here's an example of one of the emails I received.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's take a gander here.
Jake, Bobby Beasley sent threatening messages to my guinea pig. It's time the case dies. It's over. I'll play the audio clip on the show tomorrow morning.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't send messages about another man's guinea pig.
No, that's that crosses the line,
Trying to find other emails. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's a good one. I'll read to you guys.
Okay.
Hold on.
Sure. Yeah, this is great. I love this behind the scenes action.
Yeah, someone wants to know, are any of these emails coherent? You know the answer to that. Come on. Bobby Beasley made threats wanting me to give him little Joey so he can eat him up for Memorial Day. That's it, Jake. Bobby Beasley needs to be banned from your show. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. Enough is enough. There will be no case Monday. It's dead on arrival. I mean it. Beast. P.S. I mean it, Jake. The end of the line, bottom line.
So, Jake, you have 3 options here that Gmail is telling you should say. I agree with you. What are you talking about? Or, okay, thanks for the heads up. Which one did you choose?
I'm going to respond right now. Okay, thanks for the heads up.
I'm sure they appreciate that. That's beautiful.
Well, you know what? Beast is actually on the line right now.
Oh,
Beast, you have tremendous support from Peg and Artie. Would you like to thank them for the sent in advance whole super chat?
Oh, they already know by now. It's called It's in the Bag. It's called Thanks everybody. But this boy, he's got to go and got to go for good. He ain't welcome here. He's one, done, and out. And he'll get that come Monday. And when he does, I won't be watching, but I'll be watching from many different areas with my spatula and my grill.
What? Tell us more about
I'll
the
be
spatula.
grilling. I already got my ribs. I already got my chicken. Got my burgers ready. My sausage. My hot dogs, and also some good old fashioned T-bone steaks.
Now, let me tell you this, Beast. I will definitely send Beasley to the hole, but in the courtroom, you can't send someone to the hole. Everyone has a right to an attorney.
We know that, but if we all hear the first few minutes of lying, game over, lights out. Because this guy is a joke. First of all,
do you think it will be darker for Beasley than it is darker in your attic at all times?
First of all, this guy has lied through his teeth for so many years. I've caught this guy lying through his teeth. I am already preparing to send that video to other stations like CBS, NBC, ABC, and also Fox. I will have him arrested big time for lying on TV.
You think someone's going to arrest him for lying?
Oh, he knows he's lied on television. We caught the lies. And also, my friend, a former friend of mine, Miss Deanna Myron, who used to work at Curie, has a boyfriend who works in the Chicago Police Department. See, you want to play with fire, you're going to get burned. You get in my crossfire, I'll break your ass.
Now, Beast, do you think it's fair for those to say, wait a second, you're accusing
this
Beasley
guy
of
has
lying,
to leave.
but you impersonated a police officer.
First of all, for 3 years, Bobby Beasley's been lying through his teeth. We caught his lies with the Britt Baker story. We caught his lies with the Mexico story. We caught his lies with the Kerry story. I don't know what else he's going to come up with, but I know it's going to be pretty stupid and pretty cheap because as far as I'm concerned, I've done more than this loser on a regular daily basis. From baseball to basketball to football, everything else I've done within.
Hey, Beast, Jets Johnny, who served in our military. So, Johnny, we thank you for that every day. He says, Jason, you lied about being a soldier. How would you respond to Jets Johnny, who's accusing you of stolen valor?
Things for you. You know what? I got a surprise for you. Nothing up my sleeve. It's a bird. You can take that to the bank, too. Oh, and one more thing.
You're flipping off Jets Johnny on Memorial Day weekend, Beast? You can't do that. Come on.
Disrespectful.
One more thing. He's going to get the 1980s treatment from the 80s. What Hulk Hogan used to do.
Jets
Hulk
Johnny
Hogan
or
did this back
Beasley?
on. No. I've already lost my temper. I've had enough of this jerk. This guy has to leave and go away.
Stolen valor. Beast, you're now being accused of stolen valor on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. You know what I've heard? You know what I've heard through the grapevine? I got all the evidence on Beasley. And,
are you giving the finger to the U.S. military?
No, I'm not giving the military finger. You need to get your ears checked with a Q-tip and go down to the nearest doctor's office, you moron.
I'm checking my ears. Hold on.
If you can find it, yeah, I bet you can't.
I'm checking my ears.
I bet you don't even have insurance either. As a matter of fact, today's Saturday. Where am I going to go in about a few minutes? I'm going to go pick up some stuff from the store. Got to get my brown sugar. I also got to pick up some other things as well. I already got them cleaned today. You know what I also do? You know the best number one thing to do when you clean your ears? Rubbing alcohol.
Jets Johnny says Jason hates America. Is this true?
Yeah, right. Jets Johnny, you know what you are, kid? You're not even worth a pimple on my ass because you don't have enough hair on your ass to go one-on-one, man-to-man in a home run hitting contest. Because let me just say this, when I was 17, punk, I broke Roger Maris's record, and unlike you, you jerk, you don't have the testicles to go one-on-one with me on a baseball field. So until then, shut your fat pie hole and go eat a chocolate bar, fat boy.
Whoa. Take it easy.
Hey, Beast, why did you – I mean, this is just a weird question. How did you have peroxide as an immediate prop to use? Why do you have peroxide?
Not peroxide. That's rubbing alcohol. You put it on the Q-tip. It helps get out the crap out of the ears. I've been doing that for over 3 years.
And it works. Thank you.
Now, Beast, let me ask
Nice
you
day.
this. Get ready to enjoy the hole.
Now look what you've done, Bobby Beasley. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down.
Wrong video.
You know, you're nothing but a pile of
Now
old
look what
gabagool.
you've done.
Offensive line, defensive
Beast
line,
Breaker
offensive line. The first thing I'm going to
666.
address-
No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off
270 pounds
and cast
to
you down
300.
with the
We need big
sodomites.
boys.
Sometime- Hold on. We're having a lot of issues here. Beast joined back in, and I was going to bring him on, but now he's gone. But you know what? He's in the hole. Everyone got the point by now. Had to be done. Jorge sent him there. 20 spotted channel memberships. Gave you guys a little sneak peek of what I had planned for Monday, though.
Wow.
That was wild, man. I mean, Beast is going off on everybody.
Yeah.
Jets Johnny writes, and I'm probably the skinniest Asmaniac being called by the fattest lard ass in the world. Oh, the irony.
Wow.
Man, Beast ran so quickly there, too. Very sad. I can't even play the horn to send him to the hole because he just gets scared and leaves.
Yeah.
Let me shout out the 20 memberships, though, from Jets
Sure,
Johnny.
of course.
Or not from Jets, from Jorge Perez.
Yeah, right.
And to do that, I got to put my my oversized helmet on, Boy Green.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
Here we go. 20 memberships. This is from Jorge. Jorge, you're in the raffle for 20. Thank you very much. The following 20 people are channel members. Sorry, not sorry. Greg, Devin Frank, Flight Boss, Kristen Thompson, Jet Life, York Pinnock, EJ, Uno Jets, DYSL Studio, Sean, Keith Kirkwood, Remy, Darnell Towns, Duhan, Skinny D23, Mark Riss, That's It Gaming, all receiving channel memberships. But wait, we got a little more. Rick Kent is in for 5.
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
You hear your name called. These are from the great Rick Kent, Dr. V-Man, Jack Monorino, Kakuka Lake Jet Fan, DM95, Over the Top 72. They are all channel members. All right. Jorge, by the way, with the 20 memberships, by just doing common math, he now has nullified the Peg and Artie Bobby Beasley trip to the hole on Monday. So the trial will continue if Beasley does call on to make his case. I'd like to point that out.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't add it up till you just said that. Yeah.
Also, we have some housekeeping to take care of. Beast, welcome back to the show. And we'll see you later. Now look what you've done.
Offensive line, defensive
Beast
line,
Breaker
offensive line. The first thing I'm going to
666.
address-
No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think somebody
Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
I had to make sure we did it. We respect bounties around here, and Jorge paid for that. He didn't get the full whole experience, and I wasn't going to stand for that. So, bounty set at $100 to Free Beast. That's where it's at.
Beautiful.
All right. Boy Green, do you have time for one more call before we wrap
Sure,
things
yeah.
up here?
Let's go, baby. Sure, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Dre Day. Hello, Dre Day.
What's good, baby? What's good, man? Hey, the rain is gone, and you already know, baby, that grill is on,
Oh,
baby.
baby.
I'm out here
Wow.
getting busy, baby.
Where
Yes,
are you
sir.
at? The weather looks nice.
Wow.
I'm
Look at
out
all
here in
that.
Maryland, you know. I'm in Maryland, baby. Good old Maryland weather.
Better
Yes,
to
sir.
be there today than here. It is like
Yes, sir. 2
cloudy
days
and
of rain.
rainy.
2 days of rain. We had the same thing. 2 days of rain down here, like almost 3. But yeah, came a little cloudy. This is what I woke up to. Got me some mask. Unlike Beast Break, I'm out here getting physical, baby.
Man, I'm starving. That food looks great.
Oh yeah. We got the chicken over here cooking. You know, the indirect. We're having smoke coming over here. So we don't put the
nice.
chicken directly on top of the charcoal. We got to put the charcoal on the side and cook over here. Called indirect
makes
grilling.
sense.
You gotta try it, fellas. It's fucking fabulous.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I'm here. The rain going and the grill is on, man. I'm out here
jealous.
representing JTS. Can't wait for the season. I'm gonna be at the first game. I don't know about y'all.
Okay. Let's go.
Dre Day, enjoy the barbecue, man.
Yes, sir.
Love it. That's what people should do all weekend. call in
yeah.
on the grill. Now,
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm probably not doing a show tomorrow because I'm on Sirius for 4 hours from noon to 4. But
yeah,
Monday I plan on doing a show, so people call in from the grill.
Oh, Memorial Day Monday. That'll be awesome.
Now, there's a guy that called in here that we were dying to hear from. He just moved in to his brand new apartment.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And a lot of people are wondering, how's it going? How was the first night of sleep in said apartment? Ladies and gentlemen, we will hopefully get the answers to those questions right now.
Hey, Charles! You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. Hey, Charles! I'm not saying that Glowski takes steroids. You need some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Send it this way, Charles!
Charles. Chuck. Mr. Gorman. Gorman. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have Charles Gorman, but we do have drama. A $100 bill has just been posted. Are you kidding me? Bo C in the raffle for 20, and more importantly, the return of the
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Hello, Beast. You're back. A bounty is a bounty. Bail is a bail. And you have returned to the program. Your thoughts?
What am I doing?
Market basket? I don't know. Is there a deal? I see there's buy one, get one on the celery.
Reading the paper.
Oh.
Gotta go get one more thing that I want. I know.
Now, Beast, shouldn't you say thank you to Bo who posted your bail?
Hey, to Mr. Bo C. El muchos gracias, señor.
Oh, Spanish. Nice. All right.
Hey, I took Spanish in high school. I didn't like it, but I wanted French, but oh well. Why cry over spilt milk? This Polish sausage I want. I could get that for $2.99. That's cheap.
Okay.
I could get that. And then there's one more thing I wouldn't mind getting. I already said brownies. You know what? I don't know if I want to add something to it, but I'll think about it later. All
Now,
right.
Beast, how is it that you're just able to just basically just wipe away what's transpired on the show? I mean, it's been a while between you and the chat.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna enjoy this day because you know what? Monday's a good day to enjoy the best times. Go out there to the grill, put that barbecue on, put some corn on, some potatoes, some zucchini, and then get the good stuff put on. And then I already got my barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna go hard, and I'm gonna play fair. And after that barbecue is done, hey, I was gonna say, you know what, Jake? You're welcome to come. You're welcome.
Oh.
I'll be there.
You get it. I'll tell you, and bring
send me the address. I'll show up.
I'll tell you what, you'll get it in the email, and bring your appetite.
Jet Johnny would like you to apologize to the real veterans. Can you do that?
I ain't gonna talk to him, crybaby. I'm ignoring it. It's called child behavior. Nope, no child here. Now I gotta get ready here because I am going to go to the store and go pick up a few things here. So I need to find my Make America Great Again hat. Or you know what? On second thought, instead of that one, I could probably wear something like this.
That's
right.
On brand. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I gotta go with hey, black shirt, black shorts, black shirt, black hat, socks, shoes, bingo. And I'm talking the real good shoes, my friends.
Hey, Frank wants you to pick up a brain when you go out today, Beast.
Frank, there's a song called If I Only Had a Brain. I'm going to be wearing my bad boys. Adidas, baby. And I mean real Adidas. Yeah,
Bino says stolen valor should not be celebrated. Would you like to respond?
Crybaby comment, no deal. Now it's time for me to go get ready. Put these shoes on, walk my.
Hey, what size are those shoes, Beast? What size are those?
Size 11.
Oh, okay, very nice.
Well, hey! You only get it once in a while. Hey, everybody's got different kind of feet. You know what Andre the Giant wore for shoe? He had a size 22 shoe.
Wow.
A Bigfoot. Now,
Thunderlips writes, and I was okay then mad for Beast pretending to be a vet, but then I realized he has to lie to get on my level for 25 years. I'm flattered. I have 1 ball. Beast has 0.
Thunderlips, you're not worth a bologna sandwich to me, kid. As a matter of fact, I can buy bologna for $1.99. Unlike you get it at a bad price. Very bad.
I don't know. He just spent $10. I think he could buy a lot of bologna.
No, that depends. That depends on which bologna you're getting. You're getting regular, beef, or garlic. I prefer garlic.
Cheeseman says Beast represents the worst in all of us.
In Italian, you know what they say in Italian?
Ryan says, salute to everyone who has served our country like Jets Johnny, and stay in the attic, Beast, you weirdo.
No, hey, the only weirdo you are is yourself. Now move along with the next train. We're going to party all night, and we're going to keep on going.
Boomtown says, out of curiosity, Beast, do you understand what stolen valor means?
You know what? I ain't buying. I'm not going to hear crybabies today because it's almost Memorial Day, and I'm going to enjoy. As a matter of fact, I've been up since 5 a.m. and I've been on fire since then.
Shouldn't you respect the troops on Memorial Day?
Hey, my grandfather and his brother were World War II veterans. They served our country, and I'm proud of that. Very, very proud of that. So I'm going to do the next best thing. If I can find anything here. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. Yep. Gonna do fresh pair of socks. And you know what I mean by fresh? It's called I use Arm & Hammer. I don't use Tide. Tide is for sissies. Arm & Hammer is
man
man.
says you've lost the privilege of celebrating Memorial Day, Beast. You bum.
Jeez, man, you're not even worth a zit on my ass, big boy.
How many zits do you have on your ass?
I keep my ass clean. See, I'm a man's man. When I go to the store, it's called fresh stuff, fresh all the way. That means fresh soap.
Ralphie writes in, Beast was the greatest ROTC dropout in history.
In the words of Ralphie, as Guru Monsoon once said, that sounds like a mountain of misinformation to you.
Jets Johnny says, so why would you lie about serving yourself, which dishonors their memory, you bum?
You know what? In the words of NSYNC, you know what you get there, Jets Johnny? Bye, 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 bye.
Jersey Jet has zero respect for you and calls you a clown.
Yeah, Jersey Jet. Yeah, you know what you are? Nice big belch. Yeah. In the words of Samuel L. Jackson, now that hit the spot.
In the words of the Asmaniacs.
Shut up!
That's enough, Beast. We can't disrespect the military on Memorial Day weekend, Boy Green. You
Definitely
kidding me?
not. Yeah, definitely not. Not normally in general, but specifically this weekend in particular. Yeah.
Never. And thank you to Jets Johnny, Thunderlips, just 2 people off the top of my head in the chat right now who did serve our country. Shout out to them and all our veterans. I want to make sure I didn't miss a super chat here before we wrap up. I don't think we have. All right. Here's my final question for you, Boy Green, because you're the eternal optimist, and I've been asking guests this as a little check-in every month.
Okay.
Jets record right now. What is it?
It's going to be 9-8, and they're going to make the playoffs as the 7th seed.
Positivity, baby. I love it.
Damn straight. Justin Fields is our guy. We found our franchise quarterback, baby. Toot. JF7. Let's go. Take flight.
Love it. Boy Green, you're the man. Good luck with the radio show now coming to YouTube, and continued success with your daily Jet show.
I appreciate it. Thanks, brother. It's always great being on the Jake Asman Show.
The Boy Green hanging out with us. Thank you to everyone who watched. Please click the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Not planning on a show tomorrow unless there's some crazy Jet breaking news, which, I mean, if there was a team that could somehow have a storyline on Memorial Day weekend, it quite possibly could be the Jets. But with that said, we should be back Monday for a show. Hope everyone enjoys their weekend. I'm hosting on Mad Dog Sports Radio tomorrow from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Sirius XM, Channel 82. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, thank you all who watched. Everyone who sent in a super chat, you're in the raffle. Everyone who gifted a membership, you're in our raffle. Let's go Knicks tomorrow, man. I mean, geez. No other way around it. Absolute must win. Again, hopefully we have some good Knicks news to talk about Monday, and we will certainly keep you updated on the latest with the Jets as well. I end the show with a clip that needs to be played. A clip so great, many have said, Jake, how come you don't play this clip all the time? And I say, well, you make a salient point. But I will play the clip just for you right here and right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head to Times Square, where standing by is a good friend of the show, Nate, parentheses Nate. Hello, Nate.
Guys, how we doing? How we doing?
Nate, how are you?
Just got on. I kind of missed the beginning of it. How we doing? Yo, buddy, watch it.
Whoa.
Oh, he took one.
Oh my goodness.
You all right? Watch where you're fucking going, mate.
man. Wait, hang on. I know you.
We're here in Times Square with Craig live. Don't worry, Matt. I know you took the bait. I know you thought I took him out again. Don't worry. It was a different guy. Mrs. Craig has her heart in her throat right now. Someone did try to help. Someone leaned over to try to help Craig and thought I really took this man out because I did come on the pedestrian walkway. I apologize, all pedestrians. We're on our way over to the Mets game.
My mother wants to know who I'm talking to. I'm on StreamYard, Mom. I'm on YouTube.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest shoe salesman since Al Bundy, the great Mr. Bonesy. Hey, Bonesy!
Thank my brother.
Bonesy, did you...
There's some drama going on that you guys aren't aware of. Right now in the private chat, Bobby Midnight is in a war against a fellow Asmaniac, Beastbreaker 666.
I want to rumble now.
What's wrong? What did Beastbreaker do?
I don't like him. I don't like him. His takes are horrible. Get his fat ass on him.
What did he specifically do, though? I'm not following why there's beef. Did he call into your show?
I don't like him. His take.
It looks at one point in all caps you wrote to him, I don't fear you, big a-hole boy. You a big 400-pound shit stain. Mr. Beastbreaker 666, what's up with you and Bobby? What's happening here?
This guy's a total jamoke. I've seen better idiots with brain goo on a Play-Doh set. This guy's no clue who he's talking to. I got news for him. He don't want to go here with me. I will put him under like the rest of the shit that I put out last year. See, he's like the trash that comes and goes. He's like garbage. Once it goes, bye-bye. As a global star, I've done my job. I'm a 22-year musician. I'm a former wrestling announcer. I've also done baseball and football. I've coached my way through the top. Unlike what this little bastard couldn't do, he couldn't lace my boots, touch my jock, or even carry my bags. See, there's things about this bastard that he doesn't know shit about. He needs to do one of two things. A, shut your mouth, and B, get on your knees and pay homage to a king.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, big clown ass?
I can hear your big monkey ass from a mile away. Do you know who you're talking to? Hey, give me a little history lesson there in your gabagool. Let me run it down for you. You are a weakling. You have no heart, no balls, and a little bit of small little genitals to carry up the back. Let me remind you something, Sonny. You are nothing more than a delusional, stuck in the basement idiot. Has no clue who you are. You know you're dealing with.
Oh, you're
a savage beast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a savage.
I got more international quality than you'll ever have. I got more fanfare in Japan. I got more fanfare from England and France and Germany. Unlike what you could do, you little bastard. Shut up and go eat some gabagool, you big monkey. You couldn't carry shit through straw if life depended on it. So if you had any balls enough, why don't you get your fat ass on a treadmill and go the distance with me? But I don't think you can, because I'll tell you right here, right now, you are all talking no action. Go back down to the gutter where you've been and go do what you do best. Hide and be a moron.
You fat.
Let me remind you something. I got 3 triple crowns. I got 5 back-to-back trophies. I have 2 Grand Slam titles and 4 single back-to-back titles. So who do you think you're talking to? Who the hell do you think you're talking to, son?
I'm 47, 56.
I don't give a monkey's ball bag who you are, you little monkey stack. You think you know everything, little man fella?
You're a big
fella, before you even existed on this planet, I was wiping my ass way bigger than you'll ever have in your day.
I was born 1968. When were you born, you fat piece of shit.
I carry 3 battle jackets. I've done more shows than you have ever done. And until you get your act together, you don't know what it's like. See, I've been around the WWF, the ECW, the WCW, everything.
You went to Japan.
I got more heart.
Big deal.
You ain't shit.
You ain't shit either. You just a big bag of shit.
All you have is big, fat, large alls. I got more muscle than you. I am 6'1", 272. I can knock your teeth out like Masachono and the Great Muda and the Great Sasuke and even Takamichi Noku. And you know what? Let me remind you something, you little turd.
I really don't care. You just rumble just to hear yourself talk, you big ass.
Give me up. Yeah. You're all, all hot air, no action. All I'm doing is sitting there blowing smoke up my booty.
You were calling every day, you monkey ass.
I got more fish to fry. And you know what? I got a book that I'm working on. So why don't you shut the hell up and go back to doing new book? Or I'm going to pull the 187 on you because you don't know what I'm like, kid. You haven't been to war like me.
What kind of book are you writing? Self-from dummies?
A legendary legacy book that I've done for over close to 30 years. I've retired more jackasses than you could never ever do on your best.
I'm not a topology kid. I already told you that, you monkey ass bitch. You make me sick. I like South ass more than you. You're an ass. Just I can't hear you. I think they put you on mute.
You know what? I'm laughing at you right now because you know what? I'm like Roddy Piper, and you are just like the garbage that you're like Vince Russo. You couldn't last. You shit the bed and you kick it out with your feet.
Did they throw you into a mental hospital?
I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to, but let me remind you, I've been through Boston, I've been through New York City, I've been to Jersey, Philadelphia, and Allentown.
Where do you live now?
Why do you care? You don't give a shit. See, you don't know how extreme I am because I'm way extreme, and you are just a little piss ass who's crapping in his diapers because you can't get over the fact that I got more heart than you.
Yeah.
And until you get your balls reevaluated and your head neutralized, you need a reevaluation. And until then, come back to me in 10 years until you learn.
You're probably
I'm like Shane Douglas. I'm like Ricky Steamboat. And you are John Cena on crack.
Oh, I think you're on crack, boy.
Kid, I've done more weed than you could not do your best.
You moron. I'm 56. Get your ass straight.
You look like Yokozuna on crack. I got bigger brains than you. I got smarter powers than you will ever. I'm like a savage beast, and I'm also a sorcerer. I can knock you out with one blow. One blow.
Come on, let's go. Where you live? Come on, I go visit you.
Nah, I don't have the time right now because right now I got other things to do. I got a corporation business to take care of, and I'm also building a worldwide empire. See, that's something your dumbass hasn't learned. Until then, come back to me in 10 years and let's see who the bigger dog is.
Staying at the mental institution, right? You go at the
reality. I know more than you'll ever know, kid. All you are is all talk, no action. So you know what you can do? Go bend over at 7-Eleven for a free Slurpee and get out of my sight. I am Mr. Original, Mr. Hardcore, and you are a joke. You ain't nothing but a slimy, degrading human waste of excrement.
Do you have your own YouTube channel?
I'm already planning on a podcast right now, and I'm working on a book, and I'm also planning on getting my shit fixed.
Even
write words. You, kid, you don't know your ass from an elbow.
Do you have a wife?
Kid, I'm gonna shut you up right here. I'm gonna shut you up right here. My private life, you don't need to know shit.
Your mother dropped you on the head when you were a kid.
You know, your mother did.
All right, that's enough. Good God, man, did that escalate quickly? Jeez.
Yeah, put them back on.
People need to be learning.
5 minutes. Shut your big mouth for 5 minutes.
How about you blow out your left nostril? How about you do this? Go turn your ass around and go walk the left line. How you like that, man?
Mouth for a fat, ugly prick.
Yeah,
you pick on Bobby? What are you picking on him for? Shut up.
You gotta learn his
You don't know shit. When I talk, you suck up.
I got a bigger
you know
dick
what's good
than
for
you,
you. You don't come on here screaming and yelling at him, you overweight piece of shit, you big mouth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The only thing
Keep
you
talking,
can go stick is a donut up your ass.
You won't be here too long. Keep talking.
Right.
What did Bobby do to you, asshole?
I put
I
bitches
know
like
you're
you
a
in
champion
check.
of all sports we never heard of. You got 30 years of coaching. You did this, you did that. You know what you did? You did shit.
Because I've learned
That's
more
what
than
you
your
did.
fat ass
You did
canteen
shit.
bestie.
You don't know nothing about the Jets.
I'm like the Tony
you know nothing
Soprano,
about
Paulie
sports.
Walnuts,
You know
and
what you
Susan
are?
Doctor
You're an
combined.
asshole. That's all you are.
This guy, I think his mother dropped him on his head when he was a kid. I tell you that much.
The way he talks, he shouldn't even be on the air.
This has been some show, man.
Two very proud men just simply talking things out.
What's up, clown?
Hey, monkey nuts. Let me shut your fakey, flaky ass up before you call me a clown. You're dealing with the wrong dog in the yard because the next thing you're going to get is the army tank, and I'm going to send one-way ticket coming your way. And just remember this. I might be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
You're nothing but a big blowhard, and you're not going to do nothing. You come face to face with me, I'll shred you so fast that you'll go running back to your boyfriend, funnel butt.
Run back to your boyfriend, funnel butt, is the line of the day. Team Ricky. That was a great line.
I'm better, Beast. How you doing?
Hey, hey, you know we sang you that Whopper song. Hey, Jake, let's give him that Whopper song. Whopper, Whopper at BK. We're on the move at BK. Have it your way. You rule.
You rule, yeah.
Hey, I hope you get that job at Burger King, my friend.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.